This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world, according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie!
Yes.
What's on your mind?
Man, seems like a time that I've been waiting for like forever, and it's finally here. 2 days, and this drops Monday morning. I know people watch live on the One True Sport Network.
That's right.
But in a couple days, I'll be on my way to Ireland.
Wow.
So, brother, I can't wait. Not only, for our honeymoon, both me and Miss Meanie are, been looking forward to this for our honeymoon. And the thing that's going to suck is it's going to come and go super quick, but we're going to have a great time. But it's going to be a good mental reboot, so to speak. Just this whole since WrestleMania was in Philly up until now, it's just super busy schedule. Everything seems like nonstop, and it'll be nice to just have a couple days to just and do stuff for us, so to speak. So yeah, man, that's where my focus is right now. Before I forget, hey, thanks to Philly Captain for joining us last week.
Absolutely, man.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Philly Captain. I hope, and hopefully, the Pod Squad enjoyed that as well.
Yeah.
Philly Captain, great dude. Lots of fun to talk to. Kept us on our toes. But it's just that was like a last second thing because he had an issue with his YouTube page getting down and being taken down, and it just made me think, hey, he seemed like he was struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
So hey, I was like, you know what, let's bring him on, let's let him talk about what's going on, and then reach a hand out to a friend.
Yeah.
And he's my boy. He every day he posts videos on his YouTube, and makes me happy, makes me laugh. And if I can reach out a hand to a friend, and because there's been plenty of times where I've been down and people reached out to me, and if I could be that guy and just reach out to people, and help them, I was more than happy to do so. So he's been posting a lot of vlogs lately, and I'm happy he's still doing it. So again, thank you to Philly Captain for coming on. Such a good dude, such a good heart, and I can't wait for his documentary, The Turnaround, to come out. Hopefully there's a Philly premiere soon.
Yeah.
I'm dying, being the documentary junkie I am, and the fact that it covers him and baseball, be very happy. But how are you, sir?
Well, I was going to say I'm good, but that baseball and Philly Captain, that documentary, that's a win-win for me. And I will have you know, if you wouldn't mind giving me a little bit of that 6 ABC noise there, the breaking news noise.
Yes, sir.
I read this morning that the Philly Captain's YouTube page has officially been reestablished and put back online. So
has it then?
It has, yes. So he is back in business.
Let me go take a quick little look.
Yeah.
I want to let the folks know,
Yeah,
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. I saw it this morning on his, I think it was either his Twitter page or his Facebook page. And he was like, guess whose YouTube page is back? And I was like, oh shit, that's amazing. I couldn't wait to come.
I feel like a crumb bum not knowing.
That's all right. I just literally found out and I was like, oh, I'm going to tell Meanie on the show. But Yeah, he's back
Well,
in
you broke
business.
the news to me, brother.
Hey, listen, I thought it was, like I said, we rarely have we don't really interview folks on the show, and the fact that
Yeah.
he is in rarefied air, right? You figure it's been Giovanni, Al Snow, and then
Yes.
Philly Captain, so that's a big deal, to be a part of that prestigious group there. But I love that it seemed to give him a little bit of reprieve, and also just a very nice, like, seemed like it lifted his spirits, right? We got to
Oh,
talk about
absolutely.
a lot of really great stuff, and I love the JBL commentary as well. I thought that was fucking great. He really,
You're
I
like,
was.
what happened? He's like, what? He says, yeah, what happened? It's
So
fucking
this week we're gonna talk all about JBL. No, I'm just kidding. But no,
yeah.
no, I thought it was a great episode. If you haven't listened to it yet, please go out of your way to go check it out. The video episode is live on this channel right here on One True Sport, and within the next week and a half, it'll be live on the Mind of the Meanie page. However, the audio episode is up there as well, which you can subscribe to our YouTube channel if you go right above Meanie's head there and subscribe. I want to give a shout out real fast to our friends from the Pod Squad who are joining us
Yeah,
here
we got a
tonight.
full chat room.
That's right. If you look above me here, patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie, sign up today, and tiers start at just $10. Andy Schlichter's in the house here. Hello, Schlichter. Glad to see you, good sir. Got
Yeah.
Travis in the chat. Hey now.
Hey now.
We got Machete Von Cool.
Machete.
Happy Friday the 13th. Watch out for dudes in hockey masks with machetes. I am going to stay as far fucking away from them as possible, my friend. We got Lucha in the chat. What up, Lucha?
Lucha.
Appreciate you. Travis says here, recently got back from my vacation. Me and Mrs. Bohab drove down to Washington State and visited Twin Peaks filming location. Huge Twin Peaks fan. That sounds awesome, man. I would love to hear all about that. And Lucha says, beat the Friday the 13th with some help of day drinking. Love that, man. And then he also says, I follow the Philly Captain, even though I'm from New York. He seems like a good guy. He's not just a good guy, brother. He's a great guy. So
yeah, his story is really good. And now I'm back. Now I officially went and shared our live stream to the Twitterverse,
the old Twitterverse.
Gotta let the folks know that we're live, pal.
That's right.
This is pretty cool. Yeah, thanks to One True Sports for hosting us and promoting us.
That's really important, you would think, right?
You would think when you host a show, you would promote a show. So it's nice that we're here, we're promoted. Just accept it, acknowledged.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. We're amongst a great group of people here on this network as well. I mean, honestly,
I don't know if we belong, man. I mean, there's you got Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Greg Gagne, Jake the Snake Roberts, I believe, Rob Van Dam,
friend of the show and friend of both Goober and Blue, Rob Van Dam.
Yeah,
wonderful guy. Also, want to give everybody who's listening and watching right now as well. I want you to go to onetruesport.com. And I want you to pick up some of their incredible t-shirts over there. I just got one the other day, Arn Anderson. It's a really nice, comfortable black t-shirt. The material is good material. It's an athletic material, so you probably want to buy a size up, just if you're husky like me. And by husky, I mean fat. But if you get a little bit larger, but it fits nicely. It's not one of those nasty, like, when you buy one of those like size too big shirts because it's too tight and it makes your man titties look weird. That doesn't do it at all with these shirts. So go ahead and pick it up. And I know that they just recently signed a contract to bring the estate of Bruiser Brody on board as well. And there's a fantastic shirt that gives some big ups to his time in Japan. I'm looking forward to picking that one up as well. So go to onetruesport.com and hopefully maybe you may see some new merchandise over there pretty soon. Or something we're looking into. Maybe we're gonna
some of the behind the scenes folks there at One True Sport showed me a prototype for a potential shirt, and I loved it. And I didn't even ask. And that's the cool thing when somebody does something for you, you don't even have to ask. But it was awesome. Awesome that they're working with the estate of Bruiser Brody. I'm very good friends with Bruiser's wife, Barbara. Met her through the Cauliflower Alley convention. Cauliflower Alley Club.
Right.
If you love pro wrestling and you want to take care, help pro wrestlers, once they're done go over to caulifloweralleyclub.org or cac.org, I believe. Google it. But get a membership. All the money raised through the Cauliflower Alley Club goes to help take care of wrestlers in need.
Yep.
In the past, they've helped, folks like Kamala, and countless wrestlers, get back on their feet, or if they're having an issue with, anything, the Cauliflower Alley Club, takes care, helps pro wrestling takes care of its own. So I met Barbara through I'm going to say CAC for short for now. From now on. Just work with me.
Hey, man, that's fine.
It's a great organization. I've gone to the conventions. I need to get back out there, but yeah, worthwhile cause. So
absolutely.
Yeah, man.
It's great stuff. Well, we had a lot we were going to talk about last week, and then we called an audible with Philly Captain.
Worthwhile audible.
Absolutely. So I guess what we can do is kind of just start from the top of where we were going to talk about last week, because it's still in the news and there's things that are still happening. And I really wanted to get your thoughts off the top.
Yes.
About the Netflix announcement that the Vince McMahon documentary, the 6-part Vince McMahon documentary that's coming out. I think it's at the end of this month, if I recall correctly. Someone can fact check me in the chat and I'll put it up.
We need all the help we can get.
Dates elude me. I'm old now. And I just want to get your thoughts and take on it. Obviously, like we've talked about before, we're not going to touch on any just as a producer's note. We're not going to talk about any of the legal implications or anything like that. We're just strictly talking about the documentary in and of itself. Travis, with the save again, September 25th is when the first day
Thanks, Trav.
Comes up, but I appreciate that. But I just want to get your thoughts on it, man, and see what you think we can expect from a Vince McMahon documentary.
Brother, it's definitely going to be an interesting time, considering the WWE just signed the Netflix deal. Monday Night Raw is going to be available on Netflix now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they agreed to this whole docuseries before everything came out. And, they sat down and did 200 hours worth of interviews with Vince McMahon.
Crazy.
So I'm sure they went into this deal, the documentary, and went into this Netflix Raw deal, not envisioning in the least everything that's happening now. So
sure.
It'll be interesting to see if WWE even gives it one single mention. There's going to be an interesting dynamic there, and maybe an interesting tension between Netflix, the new home overall, and wanting them to promote this docuseries, and Vince and WWE trying to be as far away from this docuseries as possible, because they're trying to move forward. They did the right thing and moved forward. So, I had a lot of friends, a lot of folks on my social medias going, well, is this going to be a puff piece, or is it going to be hard hitting? And then they come out and say, hey, this is about the rise and the fall of Vince McMahon. So it'll be interesting. And I was going to watch it anyway,
Yeah.
Like I just said, I'm a documentary junkie when we're talking about the Philly Captains documentary that's coming out, the turnaround, and how I'll watch documentaries on anything.
Yeah.
So just to see this docuseries on Vince, 6 1-hour episodes, 6 hours worth of content. Vice did a sort of kind of documentary on Vince a couple years ago, and it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So, the folks behind the Vince documentary, Simmons,
it's Bill Simmons. Bill Simmons and the guy who did Tiger King. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
So you got the folks who brought you Tiger King, and Bill Simmons, who is one of the guys behind ESPN 30 for 30. One of my favorite sports documentary series. So it's going to be a good documentary. I think Bill Simmons also did the Andre the Giant documentary for HBO. So yeah, it'll It'll definitely be interesting. What do you think? What do you take?
I mean, it's hard because I agree with with a lot of what you're saying, right? Um, I think for me, and like I've listened to some commentary on it, but I've tried to like purposefully stay away from commentary on it and just kind of like make my own decision about documentaries and films in general. But Eric Bischoff had a good take on it. I don't think at all that the documentary folks, whoever's actually like filming and producing and doing the actual like final um, cut on everything, I don't think they gave any kind of creative control whatsoever. I would, and Eric even said like any good documentary person would never give up creative control. So I think if they're going to tell the story like this, and it sounds like Vince kind of knew that going into it. He was like, "Hey, I know I'm not going to. This may paint me in a shitty picture, or rather paint a shitty picture of me, or put me in a bad light." Um, I would be surprised to see anything other than as close to an accurate portrayal of who the man is as you can possibly get. I expect it to be pretty grimy. I expect it to be, airing a lot of secrets and things and talking about a lot of really uncomfortable conversations and different things that happen. But it's also interesting for me because I'm a history guy, like from that perspective, I'm very interested to see some of the things I may not really know about him or the inner workings of WWF when it first started, or the really maybe are they going to cover the time when he purchased WWF from his dad? Like I'm curious to see
I'm sure.
where that goes.
I'm confident. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
confident they'll do that. But
Yeah, I
it's
think it's
definitely interesting.
like I said, I think it's for me, it's just a matter of trying to figure out like exactly where I think even with anything like this, it's like where do you start with a story this big? Because he's arguably one of the most, at least in entertainment, I feel like one of the most notable people that's ever really done anything.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious as to where you even start with that kind of stuff. But I'm excited. I'm excited. And again, it's like you said, it's one of those things I would have watched regardless. And I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about pro wrestling in the '80s, WWF was Americana. That boom period. Pro wrestling has always been a huge part of television.
Yeah.
Going back to the Dumont network. When the infancy of television, pro wrestling's always been there, but it always had the stigma, of being lowbrow and everything. And Vince did what he could to bring it into the mainstream, and he became the PT Barnum of professional wrestling, and brought it to the masses, and made it to where people go, "Oh, I like wrestling," and have the scarlet letter put on them for being a pro wrestling fan. But
Yeah.
that said, doesn't excuse what is alleged.
Of course.
Hopefully not true. But again, like I said, I'm reserving any judgment until the dust settles, because there's been so many times I've commented on things, and well, I wish I knew that before I opened up my big fat mouth, kind of thing.
Right. Right. But
But
it also it doesn't serve us any purpose to talk about it on the air as it is. You know what I mean? It's not. I would prefer to just leave it as simple as you know we're aware and we're waiting for the legal system to do its thing, and that's it. And that
yeah,
we don't need to go any farther than where we are there.
right.
But I am excited about it. I'm looking forward to it, and thank you again, Travis, for giving us a September 25th. Going to go to some of the commentaries here in the chat because there's a lot of conflicting opinions here, and I'm curious to see what everybody thinks. Chris Smith, Andrew Herms. I apologize. I probably fucked your name up. I'm sorry. Chris Smith and Bill Simmons. Yes, and Simmons did do the Andre documentary. The
Awesome.
Andre documentary is fantastic. Was an incredible watch.
Shed a few
So
man tears on that one.
yeah, that was a great one. Lucha says, I think it's Netflix playing devil's advocate, having a burn piece on McMahon and then hosting Raw in January. I think, if you want my honest opinion, man, I think all of this was independent of that Netflix deal. I really do. I don't think it was. I think it was like it was just a random happenstance. I don't think one had anything to do with the other. I think it just so happened that Netflix probably gave as in everything, right? If the easiest answer is probably the right one. They probably just had the best bid and the best, idea for what they wanted to do. Um, Travis says WWE is not trying to make Vince look good anymore. At the same time, certain information could be very damning for WWE. Will be interesting to see. Yeah, curious to see what comes from this. But if you have any differentiating opinions, leave them in the comments. Let us know. Tweet them at us. We'd love to talk about it and get your idea and pick your brain. But yeah, that is it for Vince. And we'll as we watch the episodes and we get more information and we get a better idea of what's going on, we'll definitely talk about it. But how about them Birds, man? How are we looking on football? How are we looking with the Phillies? I saw Bryce Harper almost beat the shit out of somebody on the mound the other day for hitting Castellanos. What happened there, man?
Yeah, man. Well, before I even get into that, football's back.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that in the background?
Fucking game day. Game bird.
Yeah, I know we're appealing to a broader audience, but we are Eagles fans here at Mind of the Meanie. But hey, we all love football. So yeah, the Eagles came back. They were the second game of the season. First game in South America. And there's so much bullshit going into that game of misinformation and oh my God, they can't wear green, it's gang colors when it wasn't. Oh my God, there's they're having the team scared to go down there. They weren't. Watching their vlogs and what all the nonsense that went into it.
Seriously.
Eagles, Packers in Sao Paulo, Brazil, where green is preferred. You not wear green because the local team, the Corinthians, their rival, their color is green, so it's a superstition thing. So I was at McCusker's during the week, and there's a guy going, "Oh my God, they can't wear green. It's gang." I was like, "Bro, it's not." Whoever your source is, get a new source. It's
yeah.
Man, I hate to be that guy, just like I usually keep my mouth, my lip shut on so many things, but I was just like, I had a few daddy sodas in me, and I was like, bro, stop, please stop.
Just stop. Yeah.
But the game itself, a little sloppy. When you look at, the NFL now, the newer NFL, that the opening season games are essentially glorified preseason games. NFL has done away with the 4 preseason game concept, and a lot of teams don't start their starters for the majority of the preseason. So what you're getting is guys finding their rhythm and getting used to playing football again. And Eagles were a little sloppy, but the field was definitely a mess. Which I don't want to use that as an excuse, but because Super Bowl field was the drizzling shits too when the Eagles were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. But both teams had to play on it. But you would figure the NFL had this much notice to get things right, for this big game, and they botched that as well. But Eagles came out, Eagles won, which was good. I probably predicted the score 35-32. They scored 34, so I was a point off. So that was a good time. Watched it. It was interesting watching football on a Friday night. Which threw off my whole week. Watching football on a Friday night because I'm used to the Thursday night games.
Yeah.
Sunday games, Monday games. Which now they played last Friday, so the next game is this Monday. So they got like a mini bye in there. As they throw them a bone as far as all right, you go to Brazil and we'll give you this mini bye with doing a Friday game and then holding off for a Monday. But I guess anything interesting came out of that is Jalen look like it took him a little bit while to warm up, but the start of the game was Saquon Barkley. 3 touchdowns. Saquon had a hat trick. Yeah, Saquon looked impressive. And then you go see the Giants game, and you're like, man, yeah, he scored more touchdowns to the Giants,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. I'm looking forward to this Monday. They play the Falcons. It should be interesting. Eagles in prime time, and yeah, I'm trying to get used to these new players and new uniforms. Like Wilson's. Russell Wilson is a Steeler now, and just all this. It's craziness. I'm trying to. I'm stalling because I'm trying to remember who the Viking. I mean, the Falcons QB right now was with the Viking.
Well, I can say while you're thinking about it, Andrew Herm says, in a collective voice, fuck the Cowboys, always and forever. Amen.
Yes. Forever and ever.
Always, always, always. Here's Lucha in here saying, as a Jets fan, I'm sorry, pal. I'm really sorry to hear that. I actually had hope late in the third quarter with Rodgers, and then I have in a while being a Jets fan. Meh.
I see. I don't hate the Jets. I'm kind of indifferent. Oh yeah, thank you there, Slichter. Kirk Cousins. Oh, and Andrew.
Yep.
And Andrew. Kirk Cousins, who his prime time record is the shits, especially against the Eagles. So and he wasn't looking too good in that first game. He kind of looked like a statue there. So hopefully, the Eagles, little home cooking, home field. Hopefully it's not as they're slipping all over that field and down in Brazil. They get the defense steps up. Defense did good in the first game. Kenyon Mitchell looked amazing, but I'm looking for the Eagles to do a little bit of feasting. Hopefully this Monday night. But the Eagles and Cousins, would always tear up the Eagles when he was with Washington. But then you get him in primetime games against the Eagles, and for some reason, there's like a Jekyll and Hyde effect there, So.
Yeah. Here's something interesting. I heard from the news cycles. I didn't even get a chance because my shoot job has been so fucking crazy. But Tua had another concussion.
Yeah, last night, man.
I wanted to kind of talk to you about that because I apologies or in order here. I'm not entirely familiar with the Tua situation, and I'm curious if maybe you could explain it to me, and then anyone who's listening, what's the deal with that, and what happened on this week?
I was watching last night and watching the Dolphins Bills game last night. I know this drops Monday, but we're recording on a Friday. Today's Friday. Yeah,
today is Friday. Yeah,
recording on a Friday. Last night,
Tua
suffered his fourth concussion in his NFL career, and he had it's been unfortunate. He had a couple concussions. He had two really early, and then he had a third one. This is his fourth, and I think he's gonna have to. He's either gonna have to make a decision, or somebody's got to make a decision for him to protect him. And this whole Tua situation, between following his career and seeing everything happen, I can't help but think of the quarterback Kevin Cobb, who played for the Eagles. Kevin Cobb played for the Eagles in his first season as starter, got knocked out first game with a concussion against the Green Bay Packers. And then that's when, Michael Vick came in and took over. Yeah. Then, the Eagles sent Cobb to the Arizona Cardinals, and then he ended up with the Bills. But he suffered a couple devastating concussions to the fact that where, it did some serious damage to where he couldn't sleep and all these side effects. And, I'm watching the Tua thing last night. I was like, man, hope this isn't another Kevin Cobb situation. And speaking of, 30 for 30 documentaries, there needs to be like a documentary on the whole Kevin Cobb thing, because You know, I mean, the Eagles trusted him enough that they traded Donovan McNabb to Washington
Yeah.
to start Cobb. And, Andy Reid being the quarterback whisperer, they could have had a decent run, but he got knocked out in that first game. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. I'm going to follow the news, as it comes along. But, it was, and the this is where sports gets weird. Tua's, was running for the first down, and he got tackled by DeMar Hamlin.
Mm.
Same DeMar Hamlin who technically died on the field 2 years ago from a similar hit.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. Similar, but not entirely same kind of hit.
Wow.
And Tua went down, and it was an ugly situation with Tua. I hate to use the term "sell," but the way he reacted to his concussion, you're just like, I was sitting on my couch. And I went, "Oh nope, that's not good."
No, that's bad. That's real bad.
Yeah, and the game wasn't going the Dolphins' way anyway, and it just went from bad to worse. But yeah, he lost control of his limbs, and it was ugly.
Yeah, we're looking at Andrew in the chat here. He said about dead arm, this one's horrible. I guess he's referring to the concussion is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Or by dead arm, I mean he had no control over the limb.
Yeah.
Andrew says Nowinski's. I believe you're referring to Chris Nowinski,
Yes.
the former pro wrestler who's been on the cutting edge of the CTE and concussion protocol and things of that nature. I know we've talked about it before, on our other episodes and stuff, but there was one hit recently, I think it was in the past 6 months, where Giovanni Vinci took a drop kick wrong from, I want to say it was Kofi Kingston, and rung his bell. I mean, he was out, and they called the match right away. And I as a wrestling and I think just as a sports fan and probably just as a human in general, I appreciated the fact that the ref acted quickly. The doctor jumped in the ring. They took care of business. They did what they had to do, and that was the fucking end. It was like, we're done. We're not going any farther. And I think that's a testament to how far people have come when it comes to the research with CTE and comes to concussions and stuff. Rob Van Dam just released something recently. I think it's a Concussion Awareness Month, if I recall correctly. Rob just posted a video today about it. But yeah, I mean, at some point, like to your point about Tua, like at what point do you step in to help somebody for their own well-being? If he's having that kind of trouble, even managing himself, like at what point do you jump in and say, hey man, this is probably not a good idea to do anymore? You said it's his fourth, right?
I believe it's his fourth.
Oh my God, man.
Fourth diagnosed. I mean, it's I think back to my career. I'm like, how many concussions did I possibly have?
Yeah.
And not know, like back in my day, it's like, oh, he got his bell rung.
Yeah.
Nobody really said concussion,
Yeah.
And if they did say concussion, it's probably for something that was way more, serious than a normal concussion,
Right.
Oh, he's got a concussion when it was like a severe concussion, if it wasn't, if it was a minor concussion, they're like, oh, he just got his bell rung to use soft language to lessen the blow, so to speak. So
yeah,
I'm sure there's been times where I've been concussed. I just never knew about it. But to have 4 concussions in that short amount of time, somebody's going to have to make a decision.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's any way around it. You're at some point, like you said, you have to, if the person's not going to look out for themselves, at what point do you jump in and say, hey man, we gotta get this figured out? And, like I said, we wish him the best. We hope he recovers quickly and efficiently. But I think, as in all things, that's shit that you can't undo. The damage that happens to your brain, that's stuff that can't be undone. And I hope it doesn't get to the point where it gets any worse. Because I don't want to see that for anybody.
I mean, we've seen it happen with boxers. Just take so many blows to the head. But Tua is supposed to be the face of the league, and it's weird watching him play because he's left-handed. But that's besides the point. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just gonna be a broken record here and say,
Yeah.
somebody's gonna have to make a decision for him,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna keep following, the updates.
Yep. And like I said, we hope everything. We hope he recovers quickly and that he makes the right decision for his health and his well being and moving forward. But what else is going on in the mind of the Meanie Man? I feel like I had so much to talk to you about, and then Philly captain, and it was like, oh fuck, I forgot. Like, what what was our show notes from last week?
Yeah,
What
I'm
else
getting
is
ready.
going on, man?
You mentioned the Phillies.
Yeah.
I think they're down 6-0 to the Mets right now, which sucks.
Ugh. And to the Mets of all teams.
Well, the Mets are, hey, that's why I say never totally bury an opponent because,
Yeah.
they could come back and, but, the Mets are picking up steam.
Yeah.
I mean, the Phillies got a 8.8 game lead, I should say 8-game lead on the Mets and the Braves. So the Mets and the Braves have been playing leapfrog with each other in the East, and I think maybe for a wild card spot.
Yeah.
But the Phillies, have a chance to. Phillies got 3-game series this weekend. Then they go face the Brewers, who are also in the playoff hunt, and then they finish off the season against the Mets. So if the Phillies want to do themselves some favors, put some space in between. We definitely want the Phils to beat the Mets to, get the magic number down. I think it's at 9 right now. Not that I'm rooting for the Braves against the Dodgers, but if the Braves can do a favor and then beat the Dodgers at least a game or two, just to give the Phillies a cushion in the best record in baseball, because it's between the Dodgers and Phillies for the best record in baseball, or I should say for the National League too, the best record in the National League. So they would have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with baseball. Yeah. There was almost a fight in the Marlins game the other night. A pitcher who normally doesn't miss the zone went and beamed, hit Nick Castellanos with a pitch that, like, if Nick was like a quarter, like an inch ahead, the pitch would have totally went past him. So that was like a bench clearing, semi brawl.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. But what the Phillies need to do now is, last I checked, they're down 6-0, but they need to take care of business in the National League East, get the National League East crown, and then focus on getting that best record in the National League so they can have home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Yeah. Andrew here in the chat says Brewers are plus 100 and then some run differential. It's obscene. And ties, it says something, I don't remember the context there, ties with the Braves for it. Is that if they win tonight, if they beat the Mets in the series?
I don't know what that refers to.
Andrew, if you could give us a little bit of context there, that would be great. Lucha, I'm gonna have to ban you for this shit, man. I'm sorry, brother. Sorry, man. This shit on my screen here. Fuck, bro. Let's go, Mets. Give me a break. Give me a damn break, sir. We love you, but give me a break. Wild card spot. Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Schlichter also says the Flyers are back tonight too. Rookie game tonight. Mitchkoff's first game. So that's exciting to see.
It's a little too warm for hockey to get my attention, but
yeah.
Go Flyers.
Yeah. Go Flyers. Go Birds. Go Phils. Go Fightins.
Sixers.
Go Sixers. You're from Philly.
Yeah. While they showed a plan
here
for a potential place for the Sixers to potentially go to New Jersey, which would be in Camden of all places. But like, there's like, for whatever reason, it looks there's like a scene in the painting where it looks like people are walking into the Delaware River, which I was like, what is this depicting? Another round 2 elimination? I just, all right, let's walk to the Delaware,
Everybody's just so depressed after. I was like, fuck, I'm walking into the Delaware tonight, guys. See you tomorrow.
I don't have the energy to go into Ben Franklin. and, which is supposed to be right underneath the Ben Franklin Bridge. But
Oh my god.
oh man,
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. There's so much drama that's going on with the stadium in the city that they want to build somewhere. I don't even know exactly where
they want to try to move to Chinatown.
That's it.
Which
Chinatown.
stay out of Chinatown. Leave Chinatown alone.
What the fuck are we doing?
Philly needs Chinatown.
Yeah.
Chinatown's a great place. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They want to get out. Their lease is going to be up at the Wells Fargo Center soon, and they want to find a new place. Which there's plenty of real estate in the stadium district anyway. Dude, I don't even want to go to Center City for anything.
No.
If you're not from Philly, Center City's like downtown.
Center City's been a nightmare for years. Like even if you go down right where the big towers are and stuff, like literally right in Center City, 16th, 17th, right at Market Street there. It's a fucking shit show, man. All the roads are all fucked up all the time. It's one-way like the roads are literally this big. You can barely get your car down there because everybody's double fucking parked. And they're building shit over at 16th and Sansom. So that whole fucking road is all closed. Like, and you're going to put a fucking stadium in Chinatown? Like, are you guys nuts? Or are you stupid? Like, what are you doing here?
Oh,
stay the fuck out of China. And what's wrong with the Wells Fargo Center? What's wrong with that stadium?
I don't get it. But, yeah.
I don't know.
The owner of the Sixers is also the owner of the Washington Commanders, who the same guy who can't grasp the art of a handshake on live TV. So
yeah, well,
but that's where I'm at. Honeymoon, sports, documentaries. Dude, we watched this. I'm into UFOs. I'm waiting for disclosure to come. They're coming in 2027. Book it. But anyway, we got Roku TV. We got Roku, and on Roku TV is probably one of the best, shittiest shows I've seen in a while, called UFO Cowboys.
Nice.
It fucking sucks, but I can't turn away.
I love it.
You figure most reality show is bullshit anyway, nonsense anyway.
Yeah.
They don't even hide it. It's just, there's nothing clever about what they're doing. And I think they work in some shoot stuff, like some real life stuff where, I watched an interview with Jeff Jarrett where he said his father, Jerry Jarrett, says, you give enough people the truth, they'll believe the work of it. So, they're giving you a little bit enough truth with like real life UFO stuff,
Yeah.
And, where you're like, oh, okay. And then they do like this work situation around a true situation to possible. It's horrible. But if you like good bad TV, UFO Cowboys on, and we're watching it, and me and Mrs. Meanie are just fucking howling, and just coming up with, we're having our own version of Mystery Science Theater 3000 with it.
I love it.
Yeah. Shout out to John there, John Woodman.
Yeah. What's up, John?
UFO, UAP, Reverse Tech. Yeah. I'm into it, bro. I'm into it. And a lot more people, high-ranking military officials, are coming out, and saying, yeah, there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
Our pilots are witnessing these things daily.
Yeah.
There are commercial pilots who are witnessing it, and they're pretty much told to shut the hell up, or they put the scarlet letter on you, and suddenly you're not flying airplanes anymore.
Suddenly you're grounded and you're at a desk somewhere in Tupelo, Mississippi. Yeah.
Shout out to Ryan Graves, Air Force pilot, and David Fravor, basically a Top Gun pilot, for leading the charge to say, the pilots are seeing stuff, and then, we're supposed to have 2 more UAP hearings on Capitol Hill within the next month or so. So looking forward to that. Last one was not this past July, but the July before that. So that's my daily thing, man. I watch there. Shout out to a buddy of mine, Christian Harloff. He does pop culture stuff, TVs, movies, stuff like that, reviews. But he's also tackling the world of UFO and UAPs. He's got a podcast called Down to Earth with Christian Harloff. He does a video Monday through Friday with a hour or 2 hour episode every Tuesday. And then there's a podcast called Vetted, where that guy does a video every day.
Yeah.
And if you're into UFO, UAP stuff like that, definitely recommend those. And there's 2 more UFO documentaries coming out. I'm blanking on the one director's name, but he had a really good documentary called Moment of Contact that came out recently. And I'm blanking on that. It takes me a while to, compartmentalize all this stuff, but yeah, definitely into the UAP stuff that's happening. So that's my life right now. Sports, football, baseball, UAPs, and everything that's going on in the world of wrestling.
Yeah. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I love the daily videos that you send me when some of the news breaks about the UAPs and stuff. I'm very curious and interested in all that and to see where it goes. So let me know about those documentaries as well.
Yeah, I'm really mad. I can't think of the guy's name. We'll definitely have it for next episode.
And I want to thank you, sir. Normally, this is the part of the show where we start our favorite part of this program, Ask Meanie Anything. However, next week, we're bringing you a full Ask Meanie Anything episode with all of your questions here. So don't forget to tweet your questions at us using the hashtag Ask Meanie or drop them in the chat here with us. So we will ask them on the show. So, Meanie, I want to thank you for being here.
And if you're watching this on the live stream, don't go anywhere yet. So
stay here.
And just stay here. But this is all kayfabe. This is all kayfabe. Don't go anywhere. We're doing 2 episodes right now, so don't leave. We still need you from Ask Meanie.
We're doing them back to back. Start dropping them now. Well, what was that? Did you hear somebody cut in there? I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, that's the UAP breaking in.
No, that's probably it's probably the UAPs. But Meanie, I want to thank you for being a part of the show each and every week, my friend, and sitting here yucking it up with me for an hour or so. And I want to know, good blue sir, where can everyone keep up to date with all things blue when they're not watching the show?
If you would like to follow the Blue Meanie on all forms of social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Blue Meanie BWO, all forms of social media. Support the Blue Meanie. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Blue Meanie. Support Mind and Me. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand. Go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Use coupon code Meanie or use coupon code Mine and save 10% over there at collarandelbowbrand.com. MadCatBeardCare.com. Get the Blue Spruce Beard Oil and Balm. Shout out to my boy Josh Thornton out there out taking care of the cats in Ohio. And I'll leave it at that. He rounds up the cats, takes them to the vet, and lets them back out feeling and looking good, better than when he found them. So go to MadCatBeardCare.com. Ultra Pro Wrestling video game coming to all major consoles. Ultra Pro Wrestling contains not only original characters by the awesome Hal Haney, but many real world wrestlers, including myself and others I am trying not to spoil. But for more information, go to ultraprowrestling.com or follow them on Twitter at UPW Video Game. That's ultraprowrestling.com or UPW Video Game on the Twitter. The Figure Collections Bone Crushing Wrestler Series 1s of the Blue Meanie are available now. All Series 1s can be ordered right now at shop.figurecollections.com. That's shop.figurecollections.com. Type Blue Meanie in the search bar. Get original Blue Meanie or BWO Blue Meanie. Either way, there is no wrong choice. To have the Blue Meanie on your podcast, go to podstars.net. That's podstrz.net. Register your podcast. Book the blue guy, and let's have a conversation over at podstars.net. Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO for birthdays, holidays, and well wishes. Book through the site, not through the app. The app takes too much money. But let's have a good time over there at cameo.com/BlueMeanieBWO. Makes everybody's day a little bit more brighter. Most importantly, Mr. Bernard, where can we find you, sir?
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Threads. I'm at This Is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand, pal. You can find me there. You can also watch my other show, Foundation Radio, by going to youtube.com/@FoundationRadioPod or anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. Shout out to the homies at the 10th Ward Barbershop in downtown Lawrenceville on the outskirts of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Sign up or go get your appointment scheduled today at 10thwardbarbershop.com. The Feinberg Method. Use promo code Goober at checkout and save 20% off of your entire purchase. My trainer, Brad Feinberg, is ready to help you with your physical and mental well-being. FeinbergMethod.com. ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. ProWrestlingTees.com/Foundation Radio. Pick up a shirt and keep the lights on at Casa de Meanie and the Barnard Home for Wayward and Troubled Youth. Don't forget to check out my articles over at bodyslam.net for everything we have coming up there. Meanie, I want to thank you, good sir, for being here as always each and every week. We want to thank the Pod Squad and all of you listening here. Patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Sign
Don't
up
go anywhere.
Start at just $10 a month. YouTube.com/@Mind of the Meanie. Subscribe today and get the audio version each and every week on Monday, and then the video version a couple days later. Look down at the bottom here. All of our social media handles are at the bottom of your screen here. We want to thank our sponsors at manscaped.com for sponsoring the program this month. Use promo code. You can see at the bottom of your screen right now, and you've seen it throughout the show. Use promo code MindMeanie. Save up to 20% off, plus free shipping on your entire purchase. So go ahead and check them out. Meanie, I want to thank you, good sir, and I will catch up with you again next week for the Blue Meanie. I am Adam Bernard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip through the mind of the Meanie. Peace. And this is where the outro usually goes, friends, because we're coming right back in a second. I'm going to put the BRB screen up, and we will return shortly.
Be right back.
Don't go nowhere.
This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world, according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, Adam Bernard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind?
Well, if you're hearing this, this is a special Mind of the Meanie episode, which means I am currently in Dublin, Ireland. enjoying my honeymoon, a little inside baseball. But we're here. I'm here and to enjoy one of my favorite episodes. Before I get into this episode, we had a little brain fart, a little cliffhanger last week talking about UFOs, UAPs. I couldn't think of a director's name. If you're into UFOs and UAPs, I'm going to give you two names. So I've had a chance in this long week that we had to prepare for the show. Look up documentaries by James Fox. Most notable Moment of Contact. Really good documentary. Tons of good context. But go on IMDb, look up James Fox. Get all his movies if you're UFOs and UAPs. And another name that's I'm fairly new to is a guy named Darcy Weir, Weir, Darcy Weir. You can go on Tubi right now and watch his documentary called Transmedium, Fast Movers and USOs. He cover that documentary talks about there's a theory that UFOs are air and water. And the theory is, they've always been here, but they're in the ocean, and only like 30% of our ocean's been mapped. So, what place has more of an atmosphere related to space than our oceans? And Darcy Weir tackles that, which is going to be a topic of some of the upcoming hearings, the UAP hearings or USO hearings on Capitol Hill. But James Fox and Darcy Weir are leading the charge as far as documentary film goes in the realm of UAP and UFO. So I had to get that out of my head, because if we ended this episode and we didn't talk about it, I would fly to Ireland and not have a good honeymoon, which I don't know. I'm just making shit up.
It'd be like you're dead. See, it'd be like an episode of a television show getting canceled at a fucking cliffhanger, and nothing ever gets resolved ever.
Yeah,
I'm glad we did that, but
hopefully we're not canceled. We love the folks at One True Sport. Find folks who help promote this show each and every week.
We appreciate you. They do a lot of the promoting. Sometimes didn't happen before. Here we are. Now it happens. I'm just saying, it's good shit, Meanie. It's good shit. And I also, speaking of good shit, go ahead to onetruesport.com right now and pick yourself up a t-shirt over there. They have a lot of great material over there. Arn Anderson, Bruiser Brody just joined the squad. Jake the Snake Roberts, Rob Van Dam. Pick yourself up there. Great quality material. It's athletic. So if you're a husky guy like me, you want to buy a size up just to make sure it fits and looks nice. But the nice thing is it doesn't squeeze on your chest like, them old tight athletic johns. They make your man titties look a little bad and your belly stick out real big.
Your chesticles.
Yes, your balls actually. Yes, because they're prehistoric, but they fit they fit really well. Good quality material. Go to onetruesport.com and pick up a shirt and support them and support us as well, because we may have some stuff down the pipeline. But Blue Guy, I want to start at the top here, if I may.
Yeah, of course.
With a question for you, sir.
I am ready.
Are you ready to ask me?
Oh, I mean, I would love to. It's time to ask me anything. Ask me something. I should act like
I remember what regular air smells like.
Don't forget to use the hashtag #AskMeanie, and we may ask your question on the program. Meanie, what do you got today on your seltzer list there, brother?
Oh, a little out of the realm of what I usually do. Usually have the cans, but right now I have Polar lime in the big bottle. One of my favorites. Myself and our good friend Philly Captain also prefer the ShopRite big ass bottle of seltzers, but I got the Polar lime.
Ooh, that looks good, man. And this week I got the cheap shit from Aldi again. I got my favorite flavor, pink grapefruit. Always a delight to have here on the program. So we're going to open these up in 3, 2, 1. There she is.
There we go.
Smells so good. Enjoy your seltzers with us, friends. Pinkies up.
Pinkies up.
Cheers, beers. Oh, man, that's refreshing. That's good shit.
Always enjoy your drink with a
And don't forget, like I said, tweet your questions using the hashtag #AskMeanie. And also, make sure you send in your chats here in the super chat while you're watching our program
Yeah.
here. We have a whole setup down here for your super chats. $5, you get a Carl button. So for those that don't know,
Yo, asshole. I don't fucking sound like that.
we speak your name. Your $10, you get a
Yo, cause.
$25, you get this, John.
Fucking game day. Go bird!
And $50 and up, you get the Pierce Hawthorne button.
I can't remember what regular air smells like.
And you get a producer credit on the show this week. So drop your super chats and your questions this week. We're going to start at the top, good sir, with a question here.
Bring it.
Which I believe is from our favorite friend, Carlo Carlson. Coke is my favorite. Coke Zero, my favorite drink. Hey, Blue and Goob, I have a question for this dynamic duo. We love you, brother. Actually, he's got two questions. Has Terry Funk ever complained to either one of you two about his sick horse? And his second question, we'll actually come back to that one because I want to answer that one. And to be clear, I did not know Terry Funk as a person. Regrettably, I'd never met the man. But Meanie, did he ever complain to you about a sick horse?
I believe, if I'm getting his hint wrong, I apologize. Terry used his sick horse line as a way to get out of shitty booking. WWE wanted him to do something, and he, went up to Vince, like, my horse is sick, I got to go home, and that was his way of getting out of doing things. So, I've booked Terry when we had the promotion 3PW. I never heard that line, so no.
And his second question here is another question. If you had to wrestle your match New Jack style with music playing, what song would you pick?
Well, I've already kind of done that in ECW. Me and Nova came out as Blue Staffa and Nova Jack or something like that. And our music that played was my ECW theme, which was "Let Me Clear My Throat" by DJ Cool.
Yeah.
Now there's two live versions of it. Get the one from oh my god, I forget what the name of the club is on Delaware Ave. But yeah, there's the one we used. There's two versions, but we used the good one.
Oh, what was the name of that club? It wasn't Egypt, was it?
No,
Shit.
Bahama Bay.
That's it. It was literally on the tip of it was like right here, and I couldn't recall it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Carlo, I've been thinking about this all day, man. And I've really been trying to give a good answer. And this might be a really deep cut for a lot of rap fans that out there that are like me. But my song would either be, so the first one's a deep cut. It would either be a song called Bang Bang by Capone and Noriega with Foxy Brown from the Reunion album in the early aughts. It actually might be the late 90s, early aughts. It's a Little Kim and Puff Daddy diss for those who are uninitiated to that timeline. But that is, I feel like, as close to New Jack style as I could possibly get without fully stealing the gimmick. It is visceral. It is dark. It's grimy. That is absolutely the way it should be if I'm going to do a New Jack style entrance. But I also would love to use like Euphoria by Kendrick Lamar. I think that would be an interesting way to do it. I'm also surprised that WWE hasn't tried to incorporate that song into the Drew McIntyre and CM Punk feud, like as far as in any of the promo packages or anything like that. But yeah, I would say Bang Bang by Capone and Noriega, and Foxy Brown would be my choice. Let's see what else we have here. Thank you for the question, as always, Carla. We appreciate, and your awesome photoshops you do for us each and every week.
Yes, sir.
For our show. Lucha Lechoso Pod Squad member Lucha says, do you think we got visited a couple years ago with that weird looking craft that, quote, observed us for a couple of days?
Oh, let me reread it. Do you think
Yeah.
we got which? Well, I mean, which one? I mean, people see these things quite often. Everybody remembers the infamous Phoenix Lights UFO incident that happened in Phoenix years ago.
Yeah.
And most famously, it just recently came out that who's the guy who's married to Goldie Hawn?
Oh God. Russ. No, God, I can see it. Hold on, I gotta
Kurt
Google it.
Russell.
That's it. I was gonna say Russell something, but I knew that was wrong. Thank you.
He came out recently saying he was flying it because he flies his own planes. He was flying and saw it while he was flying his own plane, the
Wow.
Phoenix Lights. But yeah, man, there's stuff going on, man. There's definitely stuff going on.
Yeah.
But there's always look, there'll always be the debunkers, when it's easy to debunk something when the burden of proof is on the believers, right?
Yeah.
But more and more people are coming out of the woodwork. It's a lot less people are afraid. People are a lot less afraid to say things about it. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, this has been my fascination since I was a kid. I'm sure we've been observed, but when you think about it, everybody's walking around every day, and how many times do you look up at the sky during the day?
Yeah. Yeah.
At night you might see something, but now with drones you got to be careful too. But yeah, I'm definitely a believer. I'm trying to convert a couple other people in the well known in the industry, and I might be doing something with them soon, which still waiting to hear about that. A
That'd be cool.
couple legends from the wrestling world. We'll see what happens with that, but
That's awesome.
I send them the news and text art, the news articles of everything I see, especially with generals coming out and saying, yeah, there's something there.
Yeah.
So, but what do they know? I don't know.
Want to give a quick shout to John Woodmass, who gave us £1. We appreciate you, sir. The super chat here. Thank you very much. We are grateful to you, good sir, for this. Let's see.
I mean, who couldn't use a good pound?
Listen, who
cause.
who couldn't? But I got a couple other good questions here for us today. Travis, Pod Squad member Travis Bohab wants to know, ever see that documentary Hype about the Seattle grunge scene? Recently rewatched that one.
I need to watch that. I'm very aware of it, and I always see it. And for some reason, I never hit the play button, but I definitely want to go and check that out. Yeah, the 90s. I mean, that was the 90s music scene, Seattle and grunge, even though I know they all hate that term grunge, but I have not watched it yet. But again, being a self-professed documentary junkie, I'm sorry I've let you down by saying not yet.
I have not seen it yet, but have you ever watched? I know we've talked about him here a couple times on the program over the years since we've been doing this, but did you ever watch the G.G. Allen documentary by Todd Phillips? Was that something that you ever watched? Hated?
No, I not yet. Not yet.
No.
Is there a lot of poop in it?
Lots of poop. Lots of it's weird. And I think I may have shared this with you the other day, but I'm back in grad school again. And I'm going for my master's degree in history. We were talking about futurism and anarchism in context to Europe right before World War I breaks out. And I use the analogy in class, like, oh, futurism. So it's like the G.G. Allen of the intellectual movement, or anarchism, which is the G.G. Allen, right? And my professor is this guy, Dr. Friedman. He's fantastic. He's like one of the premier Holocaust and genocidal studies professors in the movement, or in the study rather. He didn't know who he was, so I was afraid to send him the information about GG.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that now that's probably going to be my doctoral thesis, is G.G. Allen in context with futurism and anarchism. And I feel a way, man. I feel a way about becoming the most knowledgeable individual in the entire fucking world about fucking G.G. Allen. I hate it so much.
It's like when the Undertaker said he was meeting with Vince about his character, and he said he likes to sing, and he went, "Oh, why did I say that? Now I'm going to be a singer."
Yes. Now this is going to be my fucking life. Why did I have to bring him up?
Yeah.
Oh my god! But no, there's a lot of poop. It's a. I got to tell you, man, it's a tough watch. It really is. It's deeply unpleasant. Um, the man is a monster, and
Yeah.
I just it's not something I would be like, yeah, we should watch tonight. It's fucking hated, bro. Like that sounds like a righteous night. No, not a chance.
It's weird to be old enough to have known that lived in the same universe as Gigi Allen and
Yeah.
knowing friends in high school who said, there's this guy Gigi Allen, he wants to die on stage. I'm thinking about going to his show in a couple weeks. I was like, ooh, good luck
Yeah.
with that,
Yeah, no. And it's what's nuts is like again, like we've talked about, like, for the uninitiated, if don't Google Gigi Allen on your work computers,
No, no, no,
that's
no,
not
no,
gonna
no.
go well. But wait till you get home and look that shit up. But um
Go to
Gigi
Kinko's or something and just
yeah, yeah, go somewhere where they're not
go to
tracking you,
public
right?
library and Google Gigi Allen.
So Gigi Allen was like the punk rockers punk rock, right? Like he thought he was like the preeminent fucking punk rock person. And he was just terrible, man. He was just an awful, just decrepit, violent. He thought he was basically that he was Jesus Christ in the sense of punk rock, right? And that his body and the things that came out of his body were the sacraments of the holy church of punk rock. And bro, it is viciously bad, and his music sucks. It's terrible, and it sounds like it was recorded in a boombox that it was stuffed somewhere in a closet. And then he
Or
like
in somebody.
yeah, yeah. And what's crazy about somebody like Gigi Allen is, like you said, like he was threatening. One of his big things was he was threatening to kill himself on stage during a show, and then he dies like very abruptly, right? Like, and it's the most unpunk rock thing of all time. And I don't know, man. I would
It's just
not.
Go ahead, go ahead,
I
guys.
was gonna say I would not advise if for the weak of heart. I would not advise you to watch the Gigi Allen documentary because it is not pleasant. But go ahead. What were you gonna say? I didn't mean to step on you there.
It's just when it comes to Gigi Allen, there's always that the observation I've always made that it's always the people you never want to see naked that have no problem getting naked too.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like, bro, put away, bro.
Put your fucking clothes on, man. Uh,
Stop. And
yeah.
wipe your ass, will you?
Yeah, seriously, man. I've even watched the bonus. Travis, why would you watch the bonus features on it? Why would you do that to yourself?
Why
What
are
in
there
the
bonus
world?
features?
Yeah, like what? Like I know what the bonus features are. Do you want me to tell you? It's awful.
Do we want to tell people what
I
are
don't
the
I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to talk about that. The inserts and stuff that they put into like the packaging and everything is bad.
we probably shouldn't since we're on YouTube.
Yeah, we might get in trouble. We'll get them pinched and get their channel pulled.
Yeah.
Check out Gigi Allen and the Jabbers, good twisted pop punk. Well, he was a big fan of like Hank Williams and the early
Yeah.
like Woody Guthrie and all them guys. Like he loved that sound. Him and Merle, his brother.
His
That was the
brother
music.
Merle plays with Hank 3, right?
Yeah, he plays with Hank Williams the third. And fun fact too, Dee Dee Ramone used to play with Gigi's band. His other big band was called the Murder Junkies.
Okay.
And Dee Dee Ramone used to play in the band. And he was like, yeah, I want to be a part of this. And then he realized what he got himself into. And he was like, oh my God, I can't, there's a great Merle Allen does a great conversation on YouTube. I'll see if I can find the name of it while we're talking, but
Yeah.
it's a 2-part conversation about Gigi and Merle and their lives and like how they grew up. It's really fucked up shit. But he talks about how Dee Dee shows up and he's like, yeah, I want to be a part of whatever you guys are doing. And then he gets into it for a couple of weeks. He's like, oh, this is not what I fucking expected at all. And he left all of his equipment. He left all of his stuff. He just one day basically like got up and just pieced. And he was like, I'm out of here. I don't want to be a part of this. But yeah, it's and Travis says his music was shit too. Yeah, his music was shit like what he did on the stage. It was terrible.
Poop.
And
He calls his shit poop.
he called the shit poop. And he goes, yeah, I had just watched the movie. I was already that far I guess, yeah, at that point, there's nowhere to go, man. I mean, you got to just like, you got to ride with it, man. But no,
He
I
just
would,
looked like he smelled. Just you
he
could smell him
looked,
through the TV.
fun fact, he did smell. He smelled real fucking bad all the time. He was the kind of person that never showered after he went on stage.
Yeah.
And, yeah, just really terrible stuff, man. I would, again, please just be, as my therapist would say, please be extra judicious if you go in search of the Gigi Allen documentary. And there's clips of Dee on the road with them in the doc. Yeah, he was involved in that process, and yeah, crazy stuff, man. But no, I would be very interested to see the documentary about Seattle as well. I think that would be something
Oh, absolutely.
I would love to check out. You know, again, to use the term grunge is just, it makes it easier for everybody to kind of understand. But I would love to know more of that story, because I was young then. I mean, I was probably 10 or 11, but that was the music that we heard before the hip hop scene really exploded. So, you know, Nirvana and Soundgarden and all those bands, I would love to know their backstory. But Eddie Prather here has a good one for us today. And thank you, sir, for using the hashtag. We appreciate you. He says, this question is for both you and Adam. Thank you, sir. Who would make your Mount Rushmore of Philadelphia pro sports athletes? It was a good one, man. God damn.
Like, I had to take one player from each sport, or do a Mount Rushmore for each sport.
I think just for the purposes of this exercise, I think we could do one from each sport, or from each, like, of the four big teams in Philly.
You know, for hockey, I'd have to say Bobby Clark.
Yeah.
You know, one of the Broad Street Bullies. You know, founding. You know, one of the early guys. You know, who brought the Flyers to the promised land. You know, Bobby Clark. Basketball. There's two people. You know, Dr. J or Allen Iverson. I would have to go with Dr. J.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball, man. I'm sure I'll get a lot of people. Oh, well, actually, you forgot.
Well, yeah.
Baseball. I'll say Steve Carlton.
Good choice.
You know, every day he played was win day.
Yeah.
So what do I got left? I got
Football. You got foosball, Bobby.
football. Brian Dawkins. Brian Dawkins is one of my favorite Eagles ever. You know, and I know there's a lot of folks who, I mean, you know, you could do Chuck Bednarik, you know, one of the few guys who actually played offense and defense, you know. Concrete Charlie, as they called him. But I'm going to go Brian Dawkins. You know, he's a player I connected to really well, you know, besides the fact that we're both Brians. But I love his story and how, you know, like we talked last week with Philly Captain, battled, you know, mental health issues, you know, and you wouldn't think a warrior like Brian Dawkins would have battled mental health issues. And he was very open about it, very candid about it, and gave hope to people who are also suffering from mental health issues. So Brian Dawkins. So that would be Bobby Clark, Dr. J, Steve Carlton, and Brian Dawkins.
Solid choices, man. Solid list.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. For me, for hockey, just because he was my era and I got to watch him all the time.
These are just opinions, you know?
Yeah. And if you got two things, if you got a problem with it, argue with the fucking wall, and then make your own list if you're unhappy.
Start your own podcast.
Well, actually, go fuck yourself.
Listen here, you jerk off.
Listen, motherfucker.
It's my fucking opinion. Capiche?
That's what we do here. But because he was part of the Legion of Doom, Eric Lindros is one of my favorite players of all time. Yeah. So he would be my Flyers choice.
No, dude, we were talking last week about Tua.
Yeah.
Suffering a concussion, and Lindros took that hit against the Jet Devils. You know, Scott Stevens, and
yeah,
it's tragic.
Yeah, he was one of the best players I ever watched live. Got to watch him
Absolutely.
play live a bunch. Was at the Spectrum of all places.
Yeah.
For the Sixers, I'd probably go with Allen Iverson, just again
Yeah.
because there's nothing wrong with like it's a toss up for me between him and Dr. J, but I think definitely Allen Iverson belongs on my list. Um, baseball and football are a little tougher for me because
Yeah.
there's a lot of really good players, right? Because
Yeah.
you're talking about like, I'm not old enough to really remember the Mike Schmidt era, but I know that I was alive for like the 93, whatever they called them back then, not Murderers Row, but like the bad boys of Philadelphia, if you will,
Yeah.
favorite. And then also there's a 2008 team and there's a current team. I probably would say out of anybody from any of those eras, Darren Dalton sticks out to me. He was always
Yeah.
one of my favorite players.
Dutch.
Yeah.
He was a locker room. I'm listening to an audiobook now called Tales from the Dugout.
Nice.
About the Philadelphia Phillies. And it goes all the way back to the 1800s up to I forget where I haven't finished the book yet either. So,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of good Dutch stories in there.
I actually had the pleasure of meeting Dutch in 2012 at a bar in Westchester. He was my buddy Joe Keen. Shout out to Joe Keen, the homie. He texted me. He was like, "Get your fucking ass here to Alibis right now." And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Dutch is here." And I'm like, "Say less, dude. I'm on the way." And he was again like I when I played Little League, I was a catcher because of Dutch. Like that's just how real it was then. And
Yeah.
got to meet him, shake his hand, take a photo with him, got his autograph. He was the fucking coolest, man. He was a great guy. Got to chat about baseball for a little bit, and it was cool, man. So yeah, I guess for that reason, I put Dutch on the list.
My
And
grandma had a huge crush on Darren Dalton,
I
as
believe
did
it.
every woman in the fucking Delaware Valley.
What a special time it was to be a baseball fan, man.
Put down a wet floor sign. Jesus Christ. You know?
Yeah, Dutch, save some for the rest of us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro. You had a license to print pussy, man.
Oh my God! Wait, David Van Halen is here, and he says, "Mitch Williams, sir."
Look. If they had kept Roger Mason in the game, we wouldn't be talking about Mitch Williams right now. We would have won that game.
Yeah.
Fergosi was an idiot for putting Williams in there when he knew Williams' arm was dead.
Yes, he was, and that's a very even like we're 31 years removed, almost 31 years removed from that, and I will tell you that Philadelphia still has a fucking deep seated hatred for Mitch Williams. I think some of it's been
no. He's look. When the Phillies won in 2008, somebody unraveled a banner from in Scissors Bank Park that said Mitch, you're off the hook.
Oh no, shit.
Yeah, if you watch the post game from when the Phillies won the World Series, somebody had a big banner said Mitch, you're off the hook, and Mitch came back to Mitch took it like a man. He came back to Philly. He was on WIP for a little bit and Comcast. Well, it's NBC Sports Philly now, yeah, but he was doing post goes. He worked his way back into our hearts, but the real ones know that Fergosi, the manager, should have left Roger Mason in that game because he was just dealing, and they only had to get 2 more outs.
Yeah, they would have brought the series back to Philly at that point, right? They would have tied it, and they would have taken it. They would have been. It was that game 6 or game 7.
It would have forced a game 7.
I thought, yeah.
Fergosi should have left Roger Mason in that game. I'll go to my grave saying that.
I watching that game and thinking about it as a kid, like you're watching it, and you're just like, this can't be happening. Like, what were we thinking here? Because Mitch hadn't really pitched all that bad before.
Oh, he was pretty good, but he admitted, his arm was like a noodle. He had a dead arm.
Oh, and it's like, well, it just it'll never make sense to me. But
I don't know if I've ever told this story about me watching that game. But it was 93, and I had been working in the casinos for a little bit because I was saving money towards wrestling school, and I was working the graveyard shift, midnight to 8 a.m. And because I was a new guy there, so it didn't matter. But there was this one fucking jerk off that I worked with. And Philly's getting the playoffs. He's like, "Go Braves." I'm like, looking at him like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Well, why are you rooting for the fucking Braves, right? So Phillies beat the Braves. Braves, best team in baseball in that era. So basically that was like winning the World Series. Beating the Braves was almost as good as winning a World Series.
Yeah.
So they beat the Braves, and the same jerk off goes, "Go Blue Jays." I'm like, this motherfucker.
Oh God.
He was just rooting against the Phillies, right? So we're in the break room. It's right before my shift's about to start. We're watching, and the fucking home run happens. I'm like, oh, motherfucker. And the guy's right over my shoulder going, yes, brother. If I didn't need the money, if I wasn't saving for wrestling school, and my grandfather got me the job. So,
yeah.
It's one thing I learned from wrestling. You are a representative of the person who gets you into the business. I
Yes, sir.
represent Al Snow. Back then, my grandfather got me in. If I would just turn around and deck this guy in the fucking cafeteria, they would have went to my grandfather and he would have to explain. But long story short, and this guy was like a complete asshole. He was like, I never pay tolls. I just go right through them. Fuck you. So I get into wrestling. I moved to Ohio for the year, train. And I moved back to Atlanta. It's right before we moved to Philly. So I was like, you know what? Let me go to the casino and let me go see some of my coworkers. Let them know what I'm up to. And I see one of my coworkers. They're like, dude, you wouldn't believe what happened to so and so. The guy, one of the coworkers goes, he said something wrong to the wrong person, and he said that guy just beat the shit out of him.
Whoa.
They said when he was through with him, he looked like a fucking mummy because they had to. He had to get bandaged up so bad he looked like a fucking mummy.
Oh
And
my
it was just
God.
like, it's just like, and that was another life lesson. If somebody's pissing you off and doing the wrong shit to you, just smile and move on, because eventually karma will get that person. And that guy, he said the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time, and they lit him the fuck up, and they give a fuck. And they said, the guy was like, he had so many bandages, he looked like a fucking mummy. And we're just howling in this fucking casino, like, ah! I'm laughing like De Niro in Cape Fear, like, ah, ha, ha. I'm laughing like I'm watching the Cowboys, losing the playoffs again.
That's right. Yeah. As always, friends, fuck the Cowboys forever and ever until the end of time. Amen. Yeah, David Van Halen is here saying, like you guys said, it was the manager's fault. Mitch just did what he was told. He was so much fun to watch for years, and he took a lot of shit for a decision that was not his to make. No, you're right. Yeah, I good.
No. There's a fun video. I'm sure it's on YouTube now. The 1993 Phillies yearbook video called "Whatever It Takes, Dude." It's hosted by Harry Callis and Lenny Dexter.
I think a little phlegm there a little bit.
But to watch the video yearbook of that team, so good. And I stole a line from that yearbook video. Larry Anderson, relief pitcher for he was with the Phillies for a while, but that year, 93, he's like, you remember when they came out with the spray hair, like for the bald guys, you could spray your hair?
Yeah.
So he was just goofing around and trying it, and they were putting up like stencils to give him different hairstyles. And they said, in the words of Larry Anderson, you can be young once, but you can be immature forever. And that's been my motto ever since.
I love it, man.
It goes 1990, the Philadelphia Phillies, whatever it takes, dude. The 1993 yearbook video.
It was a fun time, man. I can't even remember where I was watching the game.
They were the last place team the year before. They were absolute worst team in baseball the year before, and then they go to the World Series the next year.
Yeah. It's like my uncle Rick used to say that they were in the basement. They were so bad they were in the basement. They were so last place in the basement.
It smelled like mothballs.
And we watched. I'm pretty sure we watched that game at my grandmother's house over there in Prospect Park, 17th Avenue, in the living room, facing out towards the train tracks, out towards the pool. And that was a soul crushing. That was a soul crushing fucking
Yeah.
World Series match to watch, and that was I remember just being very beat up by that as a kid. But they made up for it in '08, and hopefully they'll make up for it this year. So we will see. Got two more questions to carry us through the rest of our episode. Eddie, thank you for the great question, man. We really
Great
appreciate it.
question.
Actually, I didn't finish my list. Shit.
Oh shit. My bad.
No, it's okay. So we have let's see, we have Eric Lindros for the Flyers.
Yes.
We have Allen Iverson for the Sixers. We have Dutch Darren Dalton for the Phillies.
Right.
For the Eagles, again, there's so many good people. My gut wants to say Reggie White because he was one of the most dominant players I had ever watched as a kid.
Yeah.
But, the Philly in me really wants to say Big Dick Nick Foles. Like, that's who I want to say, but I think Reggie White belongs on that list just a little bit more. No disrespect to BDN, who, as we know, it's prehistoric in both size and volume, which is unbelievable when you do the calculations on it. It's really quite something. But so Reggie White, Darren Dalton, Allen Iverson, and Eric Lindros are my Mount Rushmore in Philadelphia sports. So thank you very much for that question. That was a lot of fun to game that out with you. Yeah. The Real Anco or Ianco, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, says, "What's good, Meanie? Thoughts on what up, dude? Thanks for your question. Thoughts on coming to the gathering of the Juggalos next year?"
If they book me, sure. I did the gathering of Juggalos 05. It was. I did the gathering of Juggalos the same weekend as the Great American Bash, where the BWO wrestled the Mexicools.
Oh,
and that was a lot of fun and very interesting. But yeah, had a lot of fun. Tried a lot of things. Met some guys from Vancouver who had some creative ways to smoke the jazz lettuce or jazz cabbage. Hey, Meanie, just stand here. We got this the machine that'll just blow the smoke down your throat. And was like, I went, and it just bazookaed it right down into my lungs. I'm like, what the
fuck, man?
Yeah, but I love ICP. I know I've known the ICP guys. I knew ICP before they were ICP. Good guys. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, we did indie shows together in the Michigan area. And then they started doing the rap. They were the Inner City Posse.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next time I saw Violent J, he was at a ECW show, without the makeup, but like, hey man, I got this new thing, Insane Clown Posse. I was like, ah, that's cool. He gave me a tape and he gave me a CD, Tunnel of Love. And he's like, check this out. I'm like, all right. And then, if you look at some of the preceding or the CDs after that, precedings before, post-seeding, I'm listening to thank yous on some of their CDs.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, very cool.
There's a wild story about the Insane Clown Posse getting a verse from Old Dirty Bastard. You ever hear that story?
No.
So Old Dirty from the Wu-Tang Clan, they paid him like, I don't know, some insane amount of money for a verse for, I don't know if it was the Great Malenko or if it was one of their other records. And he sent back this like 5-minute rambling mess Old Dirty sent to them. And it was like, they were like, this is fucking unusable. Like, there's nothing we can do with this verse, right? It was all him like basically making grunting noises and yelling words and nothing really connected. And so they had to basically sit and cut this verse up into like an 8 or a 16 bar thing that they could use on their record. And it ended up being like, it's dope. Like, it's dope to listen to Old Dirty on anything, but like, it's just funny to think about them sitting there in the studio, like, what the fuck are we going to do with this? Like, if that were me as a creative guy, I mean, I know it's Old Dirty, but I'd have been a little bent about that. Like, that's, but it ended up, worked out. But Great Malenko was an album. I think I listened to that I think I first listened to ICP probably middle school, I think was around the time when you guys in ECW. That was, when did you guys come on Monday Night Raw again? What year was that?
97.
So yeah, it was probably around
the lead up to the first pay-per-view.
it was probably around that time when I first discovered you guys, and then it was like from that point, it was like, oh, what's this? What's Insane Clown Posse? What's D12? What like, and then so like all these different things started to kind of split off that way. But
Yeah, my first weekend in WWE was their last week. It's like we went to, I want to say it was New Haven, maybe. I debuted in Philly. We went to Baltimore, and then we went to Connecticut. I want to say it was New Haven, maybe. And they didn't like the booking and just walked out of the building.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we have our last question this week. This looks like a fun one here. It is from looks like a Twitter user WIBR. Where's Ben Rivera? This is a good one.
Okay.
You could travel back in time and become the producer, or rather the head of Prism programming for one night. What is your primetime lineup? A Spectrum show? A Phillies game? Are you airing The Hunt for Red October? Anything with Shannon Tweed? I'm a hang up and listen.
Lady Chatterley's whatever that series was.
Yeah.
And if you remember Prism back in the day, the movie Cinderella. But then
was that like Emmanuel in space?
Yeah.
We're going old school with this one, man. We're going
Saturday
way
night
back,
after midnight.
Yeah, man. Oh,
brother. Just turn down the volume and hope your grandparents are sleeping.
I understand these references so well.
There's a lot. Man, there's a line from Cinderella. I can't even
Oh my God.
You talk to anybody who lived in the Philadelphia, whoever got Prism as a kid.
Yeah.
They know Cinderella. And I think it's S-I-N. Cinderella.
Yeah, yes, you are correct. That is correct.
Yeah. So if I was is it a Saturday night of programming? I don't know. Speaking of Prism in the 93 Phillies, I stayed up till like 4 a.m. They did that double header where there was a rain delay and they had to get the game in with San Diego. The first game started at like 11 o'clock at night. And then they finished that game and the second game started at like 1 a.m. maybe. And Mitch Williams had who never batted, hit in the game winning run.
That's crazy. I remember that. I remember trying to stay up and watch that.
And that's where Harry Cowles came up with Mitchie Poo.
4 a.m. in Philly's a wild time, man. That is a wild time to be there. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Program director for Spectrum or for Prism. Yeah, Prism. Let's say it's a Sunday, day after a Spectrum card. We would do like Spectrum Wrestling at like 1, and then maybe do a late afternoon movie. I remember the first time I watched Prince Purple Rain. It was on Prism. Like, it's so weird. Like, as a kid, I was like the fucking kid and cable guy. I was like Jim Carrey and cable guy. He grew up watching TV. You kind of got a feeling for something. Like, if something was in the movies, you kind of knew when it was coming to cable.
Yeah. Like,
this should be on cable next month. And lo and behold, it would. I would do Prince Purple Rain. After Spectrum Wrestling, watch some Prince Purple Rain for an hour and a half. Maybe watch one of my favorite 80s cheesy movies called Hard Bodies. Which could have been one of those midnight movies, but somehow it made it into regular theaters. Hard Bodies, which is another great bad movie.
Yep.
And then after Purple Rain and Hard Bodies, get some Phillies baseball.
Yep.
Maybe around like 7 o'clock. Get the Phillies pregame. And dude, what underrated show on Prism was a show called The Great Sports Debate with Al Morganti, Angelo Cataldi, Glenn McDowell, and Jason Stark, Jason Stark's now this Hall of Fame baseball writer, but he got, a lot of guys got their start in Philly, and they would have a weekly discussion show on sports, and love that show. So maybe a rerun after the Phillies game, a rerun of the Great Sports Debate that aired during the week.
Yeah. Fun fact. I actually went to grade school, middle school, and high school with Jason Stark's son, Steve. He was a
Nice.
close friend of mine for many years. Probably should reach out to him again. It'd be nice to
Yeah.
catch up. No, I'm with you on that. The only thing I would add to that lineup is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a cult, like super underground flick, I think. It's a comedy that's starring John Turturro called Brain Donors.
Okay.
And it's a movie basically this guy, his Roland T. Flackpfizer is a shitty lawyer and he's trying to get into the ballet. And it's one of those movies that absolutely belongs on like a Saturday night at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock on Prism. That's just so goofy and so terrible that it's funny. And so I would probably, that would be my only addition to that list. And then of course, Emmanuel in Space. But
and if I could add another movie,
yeah,
I'm looking it up right now.
if you've never
One
seen
of
Brain
my
Donors, you should go see it. This is fucking great.
Dude, there's a movie back that came out in 1985 called Moving Violations. And so good, it's bad. Bill Murray's brother, younger brother John is a star with I can name all these names. Oh, James Keach was in it. Jennifer Tilly's in it. Fred Willard's in it. Sally Kellerman. Don Cheadle's in it.
Wow, Don Cheadle?
Yeah. And Clara Peller.
Wow.
From the Wendy's commercial. Where's the beef?
Holy shit, man.
They're all in this movie, and it's cheesy. It's a fun movie.
I'll have to check it out.
There's some movies I've like loved when I was a kid, and I go watch them again. I'm like, man, what a piece of shit. Like Night Patrol. I thought I would love that movie. What? Yeah, Night Patrol, which had the guy who was the masked comic, the guy who wore the brown paper bag on his head.
Oh yeah, yes, yes.
Murray Langston. But he didn't have the bag on it. But like, when I was a kid, I loved that movie. And then I went to rewatch it. And I was like, what the fuck was I thinking, man? This is, of course, I like this as a kid. It's a horrible movie, but Movie Violations, fucking really good, a good bad movie. Really good.
It sounds like Brain Donors. It literally sounds like the same. It's a good bad, but it's like funny movie. You watch it and the comedy is like, oh god, this is terrible. But no, thank you for that very solid slice of Philadelphia nostalgia. I really appreciate that. I'm going to put that on some Scrapple later and eat it because it was delicious. And love taking that trip back down memory lane. But I also love each and every week the fact that we get to do these questions and answer your burning questions each and every week with the blue guy here. We appreciate you sending in. Don't forget, like we said, tweet us using your hashtag Ask Meanie or drop them in the chat every single week, and we will ask them live here on One True Sport. And we want to thank you for being a part of the program with us. And Meanie, I want to thank you as well, good sir.
Thank you.
Where can everyone keep up to date with all things blue when they're not listening to the program?
If you would like to follow the Blue Meanie on all forms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Blue Meanie BWO on all forms of social media. To support the Blue Meanie, go to Pro Wrestling. To support the Blue Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Blue Meanie. To support Mind of the Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand, go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Use coupon codes Meanie or use coupon code MIND and save 10% over there at collarandelbowbrand.com. MadCatBeardCare.com. Shout out to my boy Josh Thornton. Get the Blue Spruce Beard Oil and Balm. Josh is doing an amazing job over there rounding up the feral cats in his neighborhood, taking them to the vet, releasing them back. Just as good, way better than he found them. So if you're a cat lover like myself, go to madcatbeardcare.com. The Ultra Pro Wrestling video game coming to all major consoles. Ultra Pro Wrestling contains not only original characters by the amazing Hal Haney, but many real world wrestlers, including myself and many others. Go to ultraprowrestling.com or follow them on Twitter at UPW Video Game. That's ultraprowrestling.com or UPW Video Game. The Figure Collections Bone Crushing Series Wrestling. Again, start that one again. The Figure Collections Bone Crushing Wrestlers Series 1 variants of the Blue Meanie are available now. All Series 1s can be ordered right now at shop.figurecollections.com. Type Blue Meanie in the search bar. Get the original Blue Meanie or BWO Blue Meanie. Either way, there's no wrong choice. To have the Blue Meanie on your podcast, go to podstars.net. That's podstrz.net. Register your podcast, book the Blue Guy, and let's have a conversation at podstars.net. Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO for birthdays, holidays, and well wishes. Book through the website. Don't book through the app. The app takes too much money. Let's make somebody's day a little bit brighter over there at Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. But most importantly, Mr. Bernard, where can we find you, sir?
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Threads at This Is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand pal. So you can go follow me there. Shout out to the homies again at 10th Ward Barbershop in downtown Lawrenceville in the outskirts of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go and schedule an appointment today with Kane or Jordan or the rest of the team and get yourself looking great, fresh fades and nice beard cuts at 10thwardbarbershop.com. Feinberg Method. Use promo code Goober and save 20% off of your entire purchase. My trainer, Brad Feinberg, is ready to help you with your physical and mental well-being. At the FeinbergMethod.com. It's a little seltzer kiss right in the middle of these ad reads. Love it, man. ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. ProWrestlingTees.com/Foundation Radio. Pick up a shirt and keep the lights on at Casa de Meanie and the Barnard Home for Wayward and Troubled Youth. Don't forget to check out my other show, Foundation Radio. By going to youtube.com/@Foundation Radio Pod. This fucking seltzer's killing me today, man. And you can listen to it wherever you listen to your favorite shows. Don't forget to check out my writing and articles over at bodyslam.net. Don't forget to thank our sponsors, Green Road CBD and Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com right now. Use promo code MindMeanie and save 20% off plus free shipping by using the promo code. We thank you for supporting the show. It keeps us going with them every single month, and we appreciate you. We want to thank our friends here at One True Sport for hosting us each and every week for another week. Patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie right above my head here. Tiers start at just $10 a month. Sign up today. And above Meanie's head over there, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@Mind of the Meanie. You can listen to this audio show and watch the video show over there within the next 10 days. And don't forget to follow us at all of our social media handles down here at the bottom, which is all Mind of the Meanie across all social platforms. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting the show. Tell a friend. Tell someone you hate. If you see someone at Wallet you fucking hate, you're like, hey, man, I hate your guts, but you should really listen to the show. We would really appreciate that. So for the Blue Meanie, and Meanie, I want to thank you also, as before I get into that, I want to thank you for doing the show each and every week. And I hope that you were enjoying yourself, sir, in the wild blue yonder. You like that? Did you like that? The wild blue yonder. Listen, sometimes.
Hey, you.
Sometimes I'm funny. Sometimes I'm funny. Meanie, we want to thank you, sir. Appreciate you. For the Blue Meanie. I am Adam Bernard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip through the mind of the Meanie. Peace.
Blue World Order.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie is hosted and executively produced by the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard. It was mixed and engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional narration is provided by the executive voice, Sam Krebs. That's me. Our intro music was performed by the Swamp Candles. Our outro music was performed by Chikara. Additional musical accompaniment is performed by Enrichment. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, or X or whatever, at Mind of the Meanie, and become part of the Pod Squad by going to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Find our entire show archive at mindofthemeanie.com. This has been a Butts Carlton media production. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order.
That was Blue Meanie's brain out.